Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 3D Make It. I'm Greg. I'm all alone again today. David's voice isn't quite healed yet, so I will be entertaining you this morning on my own. Hello, Stig. How are you doing? And Pierre's here. There's a few people already here in chat. Um, Hopefully everyone's having a lovely weekend. I know I saw a few things on our Discord. Raymond was printing some boxes. Hey, Ray, and here he is now. So hopefully everyone's having a lovely weekend. I looked through all my feeds and whatnot, and there's not a ton of news, but I do have a couple things. So I guess we can get right into that. But before we do, uh, I'm going to just thank these people, Helge and everyone else who supports us on Patreon. If you didn't already know, you can support our channel on Patreon, and we have a really good Discord channel where everyone can join in and chat about different things going on. So we'd just like to thank David, and I would like to thank everyone who does support us there. It helps make some extra projects and whatnot happen, and it's a great community to chat with everyone. So just thought I'd get that out of the way. And so I do have a couple of things that I found, but there wasn't a ton. There was not many new updates to anything. I couldn't find any information on anything that we haven't already talked about. But I did find one thing. Kira has a release 4.1.3, which fixes a glitch in tree support. So if you had the latest Kira update, because it was bonding the tree supports, and the algorithm was integrating pieces of the tree supports right into your model. So if you've been having troubles with tree supports, pardon me, I will definitely recommend updating to this new version. You can see from the diagram, you can see some tree supports happening there, and then the new one, they fixed it. So just a recommendation if you're doing that. Other than that, there's not a ton of other pieces of information out there on this, but definitely patch your Kira if you are a tree support user like I am. Luckily, I haven't used any tree support in the last week, so I will get mine up to date and get rid of that as an issue. But yeah, so there you go. So you can see right here the little tree support that's integrating in and whatnot. I forgot to switch the screens. So one other thing that I thought was really interesting. I sometimes watch the Prusa live. I think they do it on Wednesdays. And they had a guy on who has developed a process of adding a belt to almost any printer. They were focusing on his latest one, which was using the Prusa Mini, and it was adding a belt to it. And the gentleman has a site. It's called Print Shift, and he uses Kapton to make a really thin belt, and it's kind of a fourth axis. So what it happens is you print directly on the Kapton tape, and then once the printing's done, it goes through a process in the end of the G code where it plugs into basically a stepper, rolls the tape forward. Pardon me. Rolls the tape forward and ejects the print. And then once the bed has been ejected, it rolls it back. So the seam is always underneath the bed. So, pardon me, sorry about that. So yeah, the seam will always be under the bed. So if you're interested, go to Print Shift 3D, and he has different how to do it into the different pieces he's done, and you can add it to pretty much any printer, I would think, because it's really just adding a G-code command. So he has a drive that when it goes back, it the bed, when it's in its home position, is locked into the gear, and then it will allow the bed to eject and then go back to its original position, and then you can then home your printer and start your next print. So you can print unlimited. It's not. It's more of an ejection system. It's not like the print mill where you can just print unlimited Z. It's just you can continuously print batches. So which is kind of neat. So if you've got a small business and need to do that sort of thing, it's kind of neat. So he talks about how he can take the belt materials and he laser cuts his. He buys his Kapton from AliExpress, and then he laser cuts it. He says you can do it manually. So there's quite a few articles up on his site here, but it should be pretty easy to adapt it. So thought that was kind of interesting. Those are a couple things that I've found. Stig put something in chat. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Stig was saying that there's a Facebook group called Ender Bender where they're converting Ender 3s into belt printers. So there's kind of neat. I could see if you're doing small batch manufacturing or whatnot, that could be a neat thing. Belt printer upgrade. I'll have to check that one out. The 45th degree Ender blender upgrade, printer upgrade. Okay, I'll take a look at that. See if we can find it here. Huh, there it is. Turn an Ender into a belt printer. So I don't know if this is the one you were referring to. Is this the one where they convert it to a belt printer? That's kind of neat. They put it at a 45. It looks like they use the original bed and everything. Neat. Don't know if I would do that to mine, though. Mine's printing so nicely that I don't know if I would go that far to do it. But one thing I did do, I've got my textured plate, and then I've got my new Kapton PEI surface on it. It was a fairly thick piece of PEI, 0.5 mil, so half a millimeter. But oh man, it's so smooth. So if you don't want that textured surface, or you now have an option, if you've got one of the flex beds that are a little less expensive, you can definitely convert it. So I'm going to do a quick video on what I did to convert mine. I have another sheet that I'm going to do and film it. I wanted to test to make sure it worked, and it works great. It's kind of like printing on glass, but it sticks without hairspray or anything really well. I'm very impressed. And you can pick up the sheets for pretty inexpensive. So definitely recommend it if you have a flex sheet and the one side's not coated. But you can get flex sheets with the smooth side coated and the texture side that is not coated, and so totally worth doing. Works really well. I've only tried PLA on it. I'll have to try some other materials and see if there's any issues, but I wouldn't think there would be. I think it should be pretty good. So, what are you guys printing out there this weekend? I know Raymond was printing some really pretty boxes with some rainbow filament. I print on glass too, but I've really liked my flex sheet, so I've been printing most of my stuff on the flex sheet lately, except I've got the glass textured bed on the CR10 V2 and the Chiron. So, and the textured glass works really well, or the what is it called? Names escapes me. Borosilicate coating on the glass works really well. So, and when it cools, it just pops right off. So that works really well. And then I've been doing lots of organizing. I can let's see if I have another camera view. No, that's there we go. So I have been organizing. So I've got all of my T-nuts and screws labeled up here now. I've got my M2, M2.5, M3, M4, M5, all labeled and organized so I can easily find them all. And then I've got this little box down here with these little drawers. I've got all of the set of nuts and screws and everything for the Voron Trident all ready to go in here. And I'm getting all my electronics and whatnot in the two bins up there. So I'm slowly getting organized, and I had a whole ton of little bins and little baggies with random screws from projects. So I've been going through sorting those, trying to get everything actually organized. So that's yes. So that's kind of what I was doing this weekend. I was getting all that stuff organized and cleaned up so that I can film some projects. So I figured might as well start off the year and get everything quite organized, at least as organized as I can, so that I can work on other projects. And then I was updating my mainsail and clipper, just playing with that a bit for Hulk. found that Fluid and Mainsail came out the same year. Mainsail came out in, I think, March of that year, and then Fluid came out in the fall, kind of September, October. And they've been kind of going back and forth in development. But the last, I don't know if they've had a reorganization, but the last probably 8 months, 10 months, there's been almost no Fluid development. And Fluid and Mainsail are a more straightforward interface to Clipper that you don't need Octoprint for. They're very clean. They both use the Clipper API to talk to Clipper. Whereas if you have Clipper on Octoprint, it actually doesn't use the Moonraker API. They have to use a virtual serial connection from Octoprint to talk to Clipper. So your performance in printing gets a little bit limited with communication if you use pure Octoprint with Clipper. But I think it's not too bad. But I want to do a little bit of testing to see if there's a major difference. But if you want more of a direct API control of your Clipper and no slowdowns talking to your boards and whatnot, then either Mainsail or Fluid are the kind of the go-to interfaces for that. The knife holder. Oh yes, for your vinyl printer. So Stig has been working on his conversion to a vinyl printer or vinyl cutter for one of his printers, and so he's just tweaking some of the designs and whatnot to get that all working. So looking forward to seeing the final outcome of that one. And you guys can see that on Discord because most of our patrons and whatnot will post some of their projects there, and you can ask questions and chat with them about it and whatnot. So looking forward to seeing that one as it progresses. Pierre, what have you been printing lately? Have you had any time, or are you still too swamped with work to print any projects? I know Pierre has got, what is it, Ender 5 right, plus, or I think. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. But yeah, so lots of cleanup I want to do. I'm going to be converting. I found the this is the aluminum bed for the MakerBot, and I found a silicone heater that will fit it, specially made for it. So I'm going to look at getting that. And then I will have a video on converting the MakerBot to a heated bed. So my daughter has a kind of her own dedicated printer for printing her projects and whatnot. Yeah. Trying to think of if there's anything else on the go. I don't think so. David is he could talk, but I think it would be a little too stressful on his voice to talk for a full hour. So he will be here next weekend. I will be at a remote location because I'm most likely going to be renovating a bathroom again next weekend. We're continuing that process. So I will join remotely. And then I think it's next weekend. I got to confirm with David that we will do our Patreon live stream. So if you guys want to join us, feel free, and then we can bring you on if you'd like to join us and talk about different things that you're up to on our live stream. So, pardon me. Other than that, I'm not sure. Oh, I got a little farther on my orbiter mod. So next step is just to, because everything seems good, is print this piece out of ABS and then get it mounted, and I will have direct drive on my ender. Yeah, I will be up in Calgary, so I'm not sure if I could just come for a visit because I don't know if I'm buying anything. But I am putting an order in on Monday for a tiny order that one of the schools wants. I think they want like 2 rolls of filament, so you'll be getting that Monday or Tuesday, whenever I get to that. Yeah, so I will be in Calgary next week, so I will be remote, and then hopefully David's voice will be good enough. If it is, then we will be doing our Patreon live stream. So check our Discord for information on when we are going to go live with that, because we are a little delayed. We were going to do it this weekend, but it's no fun if David's not here as well. So, what can you do? We can only, everyone's recovering from various stuff. There's flus and the vid going around still, so we gotta live with whatever rolls our way. So now, the one thing I have not checked is, let's see, I've checked Prusa. There were no updates there. Kira had updates. Big Tree Tech, no real updates. Who else do I normally check? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else that's great. I just don't have a lot going on. I could show you the fluid interface. I need to get to it. There we are. And let me show you. So this is fluid. I've got a few different things set up here. I've got my extruder and heat bed. I've got chamber temp. I've got my pi temp and my SKR temperature. So I can see all the different pieces, which is quite nice in one interface. Now you can do these things in Octoprint. You can add the pi temp and whatnot so that it's easily accessible in Octoprint with different plugins. This one, it's all you have to do is go into your configuration file for your printer. So you just go into here, and you can go through here, and you can just add all your temperature pieces right in here. We've got chamber temperature, and then we've got I'm using the MKS Gen L to get an extra thermistor so I can actually read the temperature. Then we've got the pi temp set up here and whatnot. You just define it here and it will then show up right on the main page. So it's really kind of cool. Hey, David. So, yeah. So that, and then if you want to save it, any changes, you just go up and hit save and restart. I'm just going to close it. You can also check all your versions of, so you can update all your software here. You can do the Pi update at the bottom here. We've got the actual mainsail, which is the GUI you see here. Moonraker is the API, which talks directly to Clipper, and you can update all the key components right here and make sure that they're all up to date. So it's kind of very nice interface to keep everything up to date. Kind of cool. And your dashboard, what's neat is it resizes for your phone. So if you just connect to it over your network, you you can adjust what information is shown to you on your phone. It works really well. So that's what the Clipper mainsail interface looks like. The fluid interface is very similar to this. I just went with mainsail just because there has been a lot more development, and every time Clipper gets updated with new features, what happens is there's a little lag, and then there's some development on the API side. So then Moonraker gets upgraded, and then you'll see that mainsail and gets updated to talk to all the new features that are, and access to all the new features that are available in Clipper and whatnot. So, but Fluid is a little bit behind. Apparently, they're coming out with the main release right away here. So we'll have a comparison on what's going on there. So, yeah. So that's kind of some of the stuff I've been kind of playing around with lately. I mostly use PLA, but now with my Hulk printer, I'm going to start transitioning to doing a little more ABS, more exotic filament. So I will be working on that. I know Stig does a lot with PETG, don't you, Stig? You've got a few printers that are super optimized for that. I'm not sure what Pierre uses. If he uses ABS, or I think he's mostly PLA and PETG. David does a little bit of everything. Yep. How's your voice today, David? Is it still a little rough since last night? Yeah. Yeah, so we've only done a half hour, and I'm kind of out of stuff to talk about. Are there any questions about anything? Because Stig, PETG is his favorite material. Yep, I knew that. I like PETG too. It prints really nice, especially when you get it tuned in and the stringing isn't there. It's a nice material. Yeah, yeah, and that's true. If you have multiple machines, kind of aligning them with a certain type of material then you can kind of optimize your printing. So yeah, and that's the thing, right? You can ask David; he loves printing fast. Um, so when you get your printer dialed in, it's a lot of fun. Actually, that's the one thing I can talk about. The next thing I'm going to do is right here. That is an accelerometer. Ooh, come on. And so I want to get this one hooked up, and so that I can take the Pi and utilize it to do all the testing and speed optimization for resonance on Hulk. So I will be getting that going. I will work on a bit of a video for that as well, and get that going. So that definitely, these are inexpensive. You can get, I think this one was like maybe $10, something like that, $12. So they're not expensive. Right now, they're not supported in Marlin yet, so you need to use Clipper, or I believe Duet boards now support them. So it'd be nice if Marlin could utilize them. But I understand the way it hooks up is to some the PIO ports on the Pi. So yeah, even if you could maybe utilize Octoprint itself, like maybe someone can make to do all the calculations, that would be kind of cool. Well, at least you can type in chat, so you can still speak even if you don't have a voice. You could hum everything. So that is an upcoming project. What else is upcoming? Oh, I got a lot of these in the other day. So these are individual. You can break them off. LEDs that are programmable, so that you can change the color of them. And so the stealth burner for the Voron utilizes these, and I'm going to use some of these also to light up Hulk. So I'm going to place them up in the top edges of the hat, and light up the printer so that I can see what's going on. So I will, and these will tie right into the NeoPixel lighting in the system. You can also connect them to the Pi and whatnot. So these just came in from AliExpress the other day. They came rather quick, actually. So how many did I get? So I got 50 of these, so which is way more than I need. So I'm sure David will be getting some as a present at some point. So that's another thing that's on the list. So those are some previews of some videos that will be coming up that I'll be working on. So yeah, and other than that, it's just been organizing for me, getting prepped so that I can do some of those videos. it takes a little bit of time to get organized to do that kind of stuff. Right? You can never have too many LEDs. I I don't know. I don't I don't know if they were maybe in a North American warehouse and then they shipped out, because it says to return to Burnaby, BC, which is kind of interesting. So I don't know. It only took, I would say, 2 weeks, maybe 3 to get here. So that was actually relatively quick. Um, with when most stuff is taking forever to come via AliExpress. Um, if I can, I buy stuff locally, but I don't think Spool has those LEDs. I looked, so maybe they'll stock some. They're not very expensive. I think that was like $6 or something for 50 LEDs, so that was pretty reasonable. Yeah, I tried to order some of the better heated inserts as well. The ones that came with my kit for Hulk were, they were so. They worked. I did a experiment on a benchy just to try to let's see it here. Test what temperature I needed my iron at to insert them. So. Yep. Yeah, these are the little tiny round ones that are programmable. They're they're quite nice. So, um but yeah, it was really inexpensive, so yeah, yeah, David got a Anycubic Chiron, and so he's going to convert his to an SKR. His didn't come with a drag chain, and I think that's one of the reasons why the person that before David kept having troubles, because it was too much stress on the cable the way it connects. So, but I've since removed all the factory connectors from mine, and now I have run all my own cables in it and have the Hammer on it. And I believe David's going to convert his to direct drive as well, and maybe he can tweak my power supply cover, because I put 120 millimeter fans um, over the electronics bay and the power supply, because oh man, it's noisy. But once I did that, I've never had any problems. But the one I built for the power supply cover, a couple of the holes were off a little bit, so um, some tweaking could be involved. They're all in our Fusion files, so I'm sure David can tweak that. And he'll have some updated videos, which would be great. Other than that, I think it's time to thank and tell people to don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see here. Normally there's two of us, so it's a little more entertaining. But I'd just like to again thank our Patreon supporters. If you are one of our supporters, like Helge at our top end tree support level, and then we have a couple other levels. We have dissolvable supports and support with build plate only. You get access to our Discord, and we have a very nice active Discord community. And people post their projects there, ask us questions, we give them help, that sort of thing. So don't forget that it is there, and we will be doing our Patreon stream. Not 100% yet. I know Dave and I quickly talked about it. Might be next weekend. We'll have to see. I will be in Calgary next weekend, so I can totally hop on and we can do our stream then. But we'll have to see how things go. So, and yes, we did talk about it earlier. Dave was probably still sleeping when we started the stream, so he could rest his voice. So, but yeah, don't forget to check us out there. And Raymond's always good about telling everyone to give us a thumbs up and make sure the YouTube gods give us a little bit more presence on the YouTube search algorithm. So, yeah. So we talked Clipper. We talked a few other things. David, do you have any things that you wanted me to bring up besides the Patreon stream, which we just talked about? I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. We are approaching... where's my timer? There we go. Almost 3/4 of an hour. Yeah. LEDs. I'm just making sure I'm all caught up in chat, and I think I am. Yeah. So I think we're gonna have a shorter one today because there's just there wasn't a ton of news. So, but if there was any questions, I'll answer those. Otherwise, I think we're gonna sign off here. Thanks everyone for showing up. We appreciate you guys coming every week to 3D Printing Church, as David likes to call it, and we will see you next week. Hopefully it'll be our Patreon. If you look in our Discord, you will see whether we're doing the live Patreon supported stream or not. And we'll give you all the details there. We'll also post it to our Patreon link. And have a great weekend, everyone. Hopefully all your printing goes well, and we will see you next time.